Feed me more. Feed me more. Feed me more. That's right, everybody. That was Ryback's catchphrase. And if you're not chanting it yet, you should be. If you're not a fan of Ryback, you should be. Listen, everybody, if you're a Ryback hater, I get it. If you don't think he's ready, I get it. I was once that person, but now I've changed my mind. Ryback is ready. Oh my God, what a Raw. What a big news, big announcements was on this Raw. But let's get right to it. Raw breakdown, Raw review for 10, 15, 12. And first came out Big Show. He cut a nice promo, hyping up his match against Sheamus at Hell in a Cell. Can't wait for that match. It's looking to be really big. And then he wanted to redeem his 45-second loss to Daniel Bryan. And, he called Daniel Bryan out. Daniel Bryan was backstage with Kane. AJ came out and said, you got to go out there. And, yeah, we had a match. And in the match, we saw that Daniel Bryan could really go. He's ready for, he's ready for anything. Daniel Bryan is great in the ring. You can't take nothing away from him at all. Big Show got the win with the chokeslam. It's funny because he's not winning matches with the WMD, even though he's basically saying that that's his best weapon. But the previous matches that he had, he's been winning with the chokeslam. And this marks the second time that Daniel Bryan loses clean to somebody else, which is bad because I like Daniel Bryan, and it's sad that he's losing to other people. All right, but then Big Show was gonna hit Daniel Bryan with a WMD after the match was over, and Kane came out and he started laughing at Daniel Bryan because he lost. But then when Big Show was gonna hit the WMD, Kane got into the ring and defended Daniel Bryan, which was pretty cool. I really love this tag team. They're so different and so awesome. I can't wait for future stuff with them. Alright, we go into the commercial, and when we came back, Paul Heyman was in the center of the ring with the WWE title, and there was like a poster behind him that was covered, and we never got to see what it was. He basically announced CM Punk. CM Punk came out, and he cut a nice promo on whoever he faces he's going to beat, which is pretty awesome. He was going to announce who he's going to face, and then the crowd started booing, so he said, I'd rather say it later on tonight. And too late. Mr. McMahon came out and said, if you don't make up your decision, I'll make it up for you, and you just ran out of time. So, tonight, Mr. McMahon is going to announce who's going to be facing CM Punk at Hell in a Cell in the main event in a contract signing. So, stay tuned for that. Next, we had ADR, Alberto Del Rio versus Brodus Clay. And funny, because we had no entrances for either guy, so that's crazy. But we did get announced that it's going to be Alberto Del Rio versus Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell. So that should be a really good match. I don't know why they couldn't announce this on SmackDown and why they had to wait all the way to Raw, but we still got it announced, so that's awesome. Alberto Del Rio got the win over Brodus Clay, obviously. If you didn't see that coming, then you're stupid. But he got the win over Brodus Clay with the armbar, which Alberto Del Rio really needs to get, different moves into his, arsenal. It's getting, stale and boring now. Anyway, after the match, we had a backstage segment with CM Punk and Paul Heyman. CM Punk told Paul Heyman to go tell Mr. McMahon that he wants to face him again in a rematch tonight. Heyman does go out to find him. It takes him about 40 minutes to find him, but hell, he still finds him. Next, we had Cobra, the team of Santino Marella and Zack Ryder versus PTP, the Primetime Players. One of my favorite teams just because they're so cool. And it was a pretty quick match. Primetime Players got the win. Big deal. Titus O'Neil got the big power slam or spine buster, whatever the hell it is. And he got the win, so that's awesome. We got announced that later on tonight we're gonna have the finals of the tag team tournament. But then later on tonight they say that Rey Mysterio got a flu or something, and they're gonna do it next week. I guess they ran out of time or something. So hopefully next week we got Rey Mysterio versus Rhodes Scholars and Primetime Players to interfere into that. And then we can have the Primetime Players versus Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara at the pay-per-view, which is something I am looking forward to because I want the Primetime Players to win, even though they might not. But after the match, after the Primetime Players left the ring and Cobra was left laying in the ring, the band came out. Right? Heath Slater, Drew McIntyre, and Jinder Mahal came out and beat down on Zack Ryder. And I think they changed their name from the band to 3MB, which basically stands for 3-man ban. Makes perfect sense. Alright, so after that we got Ziggler comes out and he starts talking stuff about Ryback. He starts, cutting a promo on Ryback. And when he got into the ring, David Otunga, Mr. David Otunga, Mr. Harvard Law came out. And it looked like, they were going to have a match between Ziggler and David Otunga, as Ziggler was going to be playing the face role, I guess. But no, AJ came out and she made a handicap match between Ryback and Ziggler and Otunga. And to me, they booked this match perfectly. I swear to God, they booked it any other way, it would have been wrong. In the middle of the match, Dolph Ziggler left. He left with his briefcase. He left with Vicky. He left with his mother, his grandmother, whatever they're calling her now. And they just left, and they left David Otunga in the middle of the ring to get the pinfall. If Ziggler would have taken the pinfall here, that would have been sad. That would have been terrible booking. But thank God he didn't. Alright, so next we had a backstage segment with Mr. McMahon and Paul Heyman. And Mr. McMahon said, if CM Punk wants a match with me, he'll get it. But it's not going to be with CM Punk. It's going to be with Paul Heyman. I didn't get it. Paul Heyman said no. And Mr. McMahon told him to get the hell out. Waste of time. But it was pretty cool to see Mr. McMahon, because it's always cool to see Mr. McMahon. We had another backstage segment with AJ and Matt Striker. And Matt Striker said he wants an apology from Kane and Daniel Bryan because they chokeslammed him and put the no lock on him. And then he said it's crazy that they'll attack him. And AJ just, heard crazy and put him in a match. And later on tonight, we got announced that it's going to be Matt Striker versus Kane. Wow, this is an action-packed show. 3 hours is still too long for me. I am trying to fly by this because this is taking way too long. But next we had Antonio Cesaro versus Justin Gabriel. And for the past couple of weeks I've been saying that I like Antonio Cesaro, but I have no idea what I like about him, and I finally figured it out. This guy moveset is freaking amazing. This guy's moves are awesome. He's so different from everybody else, and I love it. And throughout the match, before the match even started, he had those WCW videos before the match. I forgot what they're called, but he said the USA doesn't. I mean, I don't need the USA. The USA needs me. And throughout the match, they were cheering USA, USA. If Antonio Cesaro could keep that going, and then he could get the crowd to keep cheering USA while he's wrestling, he could go way over with that. Antonio Cesaro could be a really big heel or a really big mid-card heel if he could get the crowd to hate him, because he doesn't like the United States, and he's the United States champion, so it makes perfect sense, and it's harmony right there. But Antonio Cesaro got the win over a nice match. It was pretty long too, so I'm happy about that. Alright, next we had Matt Striker versus Kane, and Matt Striker said, we don't need to do this match. They just hugged it out for a bit. Then Kane said, let's hug it out again. He did it again, and it was more like a bear hug this time, and he chokeslammed him. And match was over. Interesting match. But the best part about this whole match was the aftermatch when Kane got on the mic. And Kane is goddamn funny. Kane is freaking hilarious. Wow, that was funny. I don't remember what he said, but I know it was funny because I remember laughing and dying. Okay. We got announced that Miz TV is later on tonight. Next we had Sheamus versus Wade Barrett round 2. Last week it was a brawl. This week was physical and a fight. And I love it when these two guys get in the ring because they tear it up. It looks like they're really hurting each other to the max. And I'm happy that they're using Wade Barrett. And I hope that everybody is looking at Wade Barrett, seeing these quality matches that he's having with Sheamus. And hopefully they'll give him a title shot down the road. Hopefully they do something big with Wade Barrett, because I like Wade Barrett. He's freaking awesome. His look is freaking amazing. His mic work is outstanding. Wade Barrett is the total package, and they're just not using him right. And I hope, this opens their eyes. But the ending came out with Show causing the DQ, because Big Show came out through the middle of the match and sat in the stage. Then he came down, pulled the bottom rope, and Sheamus fell out. And I thought that DQ, the referee can only call DQ when somebody puts their hands on somebody else. Big Show didn't even touch Sheamus. He just pulled down the bottom rope. But DQ, Big Show picks up Sheamus. He throws him back into the ring. And Barrett goes back to attack him. And Sheamus hits the bro kick. And Big Show goes into the ring. Tries to go into the ring. And Sheamus clotheslines him. This is basically a counteract from last week when Big Show threw Sheamus out of the ring. So I'm liking this. They're building it all. They're building the feud. You know, one gets an upper hand, and then the next week the other one gets the upper hand. And, you know, it's interesting. I'm really looking forward to their match at Hell in a Cell. Should be a really action-packed match. Alright, next we had another backstage segment with Mr. McMahon and Cena. Mr. McMahon was basically asking Cena if he's ready, if he can go. And Cena said, you know, he was born to do this, and if he has to go into the match, then hell, he has to go into the match and he has to do it. So that was pretty intense. That was pretty awesome. Alright, next we had Eve defeating Layla for the women's championship or the Divas championship, whatever you want to call it. And it was an okay match, actually. It wasn't that terrible as we're used to, but they really had to drop the storyline on who attacked Caitlyn. Like, it's boring. It's not even interesting anymore. Again, turn Teddy Long heel if you're gonna keep doing it, because that would be awesome. Now we got this is the match that was supposed to be the tag team finals, but they just scrapped it and threw something else in there. We had tag team match. It was Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes, the Rhodes Scholars versus Primo and Epico, and it was a pretty quick match. It was kind of back and forth, but not really. And Damien Sandow got the win and not Cody Rhodes, and you know that makes me think if they're just doing this team more for more for Damien Sandow than they are for Cody Rhodes. And, you know, it's sad because Cody Rhodes has been there a hell of a lot longer. Alright, next we had, I believe it was backstage segment with Mr. McMahon and Ryback. Ryback didn't say jack shit. All he said was, feed me Punk. Feed me Punk. You heard that right. Feed me Punk. He wants to face Punk. And Mr. McMahon, you know, Mr. McMahon could have a pretty nice promo backstage, but, you know. Anyway, next we had Kofi Kingston versus The Miz in a non-title match. And holy crap, Kofi Kingston kicked The Miz's nose off, teeth off. He kicked his face out. That was a pretty good ending. That looked like it freaking hurt as hell. So, as we know it before, if you win on TV, the other guy wins on pay-per-view. And I'm guessing they're counting main event as a pay-per-view. So I'm going with Miz winning at the main event. And they're going to have a rematch at pay-per-view, I guess. And maybe Kofi Kingston gets the title. Maybe. Just a guesstimate. Tell me what you think in the comments below. And make sure to watch main event because I'm going to be reviewing that later on this week. Next, and most definitely, finally, we had the main event of the night. The contract signing. Mr. Man came out. He called out CM Punk. CM Punk came out. Next, Mr. Man called out Ryback. Then John Cena. All three competitors in the ring. And CM Punk just cut Mr. Man right off. And he told him he don't care who it is. He's facing no matter what. And he just signed the contract, not even knowing who he's facing. Which, that takes balls. And it was really interesting. It was really interesting main event. Mr. Man was going to go announce who's going to face CM Punk. And John Cena just cut him off and told him John Cena wants the match, but he's not even sure if Ryback even cares about the title. Ryback just looks like he just wants to beat the hell out of somebody. That was, you know, a quote from John Cena, and that was awesome by him. And yeah, then he went out to the crowd and he started cheering, "Feed me more," and the crowd got the hell behind Cena. The whole crowd started cheering, "Feed me more, feed me more." Ryback got the pen, he signed the contract, and it was on. It's on for Hell in a Cell, people. Ryback versus CM Punk, main event of Hell in a Cell, inside the Hell in a Cell. Ryback's only been here for about, 4, 5, 6 months, something like that, and he's already fighting for the title. There are going to be haters out there. People are going to hate on that fact, and I'm not one of them. I was one of them, like I said in the beginning of the video. I'm not one of them anymore, just because the fans are behind this guy. The fans love Ryback, and they should. This guy is awesome, and The match itself, will it be good? Will it be John Cena, CM Punk, RT? Probably not. But it's still going to be hell of entertaining. After Ryback signed the contract, CM Punk got in his face, and Ryback just smashed his face to the table. And he hit CM Punk with Shell Shock for the first time. Even he never hit him with the Shell Shock ever before, so it was good to see. And the show ended with Ryback. Monday Night Raw, WWE Monday Night Raw finished with Ryback. Ryback, like it or not, like CM Punk said in his promo, Ryback is the next big thing. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new around here. Like this video if you liked it. And until next time, thank you for watching.